Welcome, Commander players. This is Jumbo Commander, and we have a Commander review for the legends found in Kaladesh. So I'm going to be listing all of the legends in Kaladesh, but the last one is going to be my top pick, my favorite of the set. So the first ones come in no particular order, so I'm going to start off with Gonti, Lord of Luxury. 2 black for a 2/3 Death Touch Legendary Aetherborn Rogue. It also has an ETB ability. When it enters the battlefield, you get to exile the top 4 cards of your opponent's library, and then you can cast one of them using any color mana. This kind of reminds me of Praetor's Grasp, which is an effect I really enjoy. I don't know if Gonti is going to head a commander deck, but I always like being able to play my opponent's spells. It has a sense of justice for me. I am a little bit disappointed that it's only the top 4, and I'm also a little bit hesitant because black isn't really the color that lets me blink things in and out of play so I can just keep casting their spells. I'm going to try him out, but I don't think he's going to be an all-star. Kambal, Council of Allocation. 1 white for a 2/3 human advisor for that advisor tribal, and whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you drain them for 2. Now I'm a huge fan of drain effects in Commander, and the reason why is if I just have a 2/3 and I attack someone, great, I've done 2 damage to them. But if I have something that drains on the battlefield, I'm affecting each one of my opponents, and I don't have to risk my creatures in combat. This kind of draining strategy works really well with a card like Karlov that really takes advantage of that gain life, or a card like Athreos where you want to keep taxing your opponents and draining them out. Actually, this sounds pretty familiar to a build of Queen Marchesa I did recently. So if you want to see that sort of taxation Queen Marchesa build, go ahead and click on this card right here and you can see how that deck plays out. Alright, we got Ovia Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter, 1 green for a human artificer, and she's a 1/2 with abilities. Sounds like Deathrite. No, she's not Deathrite. 2 and a green tap, make a 1/1 servo. It's not even a Thopter, it doesn't have flying. Alright, 4 and a green, create an XX construct where X is the number of creatures you control. Alright, so it's a go wide general. She helps you put more creatures onto the battlefield and then rewards you for having more creatures. That sounds like a lot of synergy. It sounds like she could be pretty good if not for the existence of Risk the Redeemed. It gives you more options for colors. It puts a 1/1 elf, which is a relevant creature type, onto the battlefield, and it doubles all of the creature tokens you control. Risk just seems way more powerful. Well, it sounds like she could go into a Risk deck, and I also think she could go into a Tristani deck. Tristani wants to populate big things, and Oviri will make some big constructs. So maybe she does have a spot collaborating with a lot more token generals. Next we have Pia Nalar, looking pretty legit in her art, staring off into the distance. Let's see what she does. 2 and a red for a 2/2, and she pops a Thopter onto the battlefield. Alright. Not incredibly powerful, but maybe she has some good abilities. 1 and a red, target artifact gets +1 +0. Oh man, if only she was an Anthem. Let's keep going. Sacrifice an artifact, target creature can't block. Having a sacrifice outlet for artifacts is pretty powerful, especially a cheap one. But Pia Nalar seems like she just isn't powerful enough. She seems like a great value creature, but not a powerful one. I mean, maybe she'll find a place in her deck, but I mean, I can't see how she's better than Pia and Kieran Nalar. Oh, too soon? Oh no, she's not better than Pia and Kieran Nalar because she lost her husband. Oh, and they made 2 Thopters and now she only makes 1. Oh, the feels, the sadness. But I think both of the Nalars will be able to fit into a lot of other commander decks, like a Perforos deck perhaps. What I'm waiting for, what I'm dreaming of, is a Thopter Lord. and all of them can sort of be creating Thopters in this Thopter Lord deck. And I'd have like, it'd be an Is It Thopter Rogue, or Lord. And I would have like Whirler Rogues and Thopter Spy Networks and the Thopter Engineers and Gear Per Gear Crafters, and there'd be Thopters everywhere and little Thopter synergies. Where's my Thopter Legend Lord? Padeen, Consul of Innovation. 3 and a blue for a 1/4. Artifacts you control have hexproof. I love controlling artifacts, and I really hate it when my opponents blow them up. Oh, what else can you do for me, Padeen? At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the biggest CMC artifact, or tied, draw a card. I love drawing cards. You do 2 things that I really like. You seem like you could be a good commander. Unfortunately, you have a bit of competition in cards like Arkham Dagsum, Muzio, or Memnarch. Are you good enough to unseat them? I don't think so. I'm sad to say, Padeen, but these other commanders are just a little bit more, how shall I put it, impressive. You could definitely lead a deck with Padeen, but maybe she belongs a little bit more in the 99. But don't detract from this hexproof. It could be really powerful. Having a hexproof Blightsteel Colossus is definitely powerful. DiPaula Pilot Exemplar. 1 red, white. It's a Boros commander for a 3/3 dwarf pilot. It's a dwarf lord. Dwarves get +1/+1. She's a vehicle lord. Your vehicles get +1/+1. And she generates card advantage. Whenever she pilots something and you tap to pilot something or attack or tap for anything else, you can pay X and then you get to pull all the dwarves and vehicles from the top of your library into your hand. This is the kind of interesting Boros commander I've been waiting for. Oh, let's get brewing. Let's find the best dwarves and vehicles I can. What's the best dwarf? Dwarven Recruiter. It gets more dwarves. All right, well then what's the best dwarf it can get? There are not very many good dwarves. I tried so hard. I just have to hope that in Aether Revolt, they put out just a bunch of playable dwarves so that I can put together a dwarf tribal deck. Maybe dwarves that have more synergy with each other. Right now, dwarves have a lot of synergy with artifacts or with the servo tokens that they can create. But what I really want is this sort of artifact dwarf melding to get this nice synergistic balance, and I just don't think it's there yet. Maybe vehicles can pick up the slack in DiPaula Commander where dwarves fell a little short. Sky Sovereign is probably the most powerful vehicle. 5 mana for a 6/5, ooh, I like that. But remember, you have to crew the vehicles, so it's not a pure 6/5. It's flying, I like that evasion, and when it ETBs or attacks, you can deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. To be honest, the only thing I see when I look at Sky Sovereign is a worse Inferno Titan. I think it's good, but it's not that good. You'll have to devote creatures to crew it. It can't distribute the damage. It has to just do 3 damage on attack and ETB. It can't even hit a player. It has to hit a planeswalker. I don't know. I think that vehicles, they are kind of like equipment, but vehicles are new, and Wizards is experimenting with them a little bit, and they don't want to break the format with something so unique as vehicles. And so I think they need to find a sweet spot. Now, vehicles are really new, and this Sky Sovereign could be incredibly powerful, but when we're talking about the grand scope of all the cards that can be in Commander, I think the Sky Sovereign is going to fall short, and that means DiPaula will also be a little bit short. That wasn't a dwarf joke. It was that she's doesn't measure up in the short. Never mind. Finally, we have our last legendary creature, and this is the one that I'm most excited about. This is my favorite. This is the winner of the legendary creatures of Kaladesh. It's Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter. 2 green blue for a 2/3 elf druid. And whenever you cast your first spell each turn, focus on that, each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't, cast the revealed card, put it into your hand. So every single turn, if the first spell you play kind of does a mini cascade, and if you can cast it, you can cast it for free. And if you can't, it doesn't matter, you get to draw it. Rashmi is going to give you tons of value. It goes perfectly in Momar Vig, and they're going to be best friends as you keep playing and cascading and manipulating your library and doing all sorts of shenanigans. And also Rashmi is going to be great with anything with flash. I hear blue is pretty good at playing at instant speed because it's each turn. So as you go around the table, you could be flashing in things on different turns and drawing cards, and I think the value is going to be insane, and you're only going to be limited by your mana. So Rashmi is definitely something to be excited about. If you are excited about Rashmi, go ahead and click on the card, and you can see an in-depth deck tech where I talk all about her cool synergies and everything I would put in a Rashmi Commander deck. This has been Jumbo Commander, talking about the legends in Kaladesh. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Also, there's going to be more of these videos. I'm going to talk about all the sweet Commander cards in Kaladesh, so make sure to tune in and watch them all. Thanks everyone, I'll see you later.